Hello, this is my audition tape to be on the internet. I had a couple of ideas for videos that I could make today, and I am actively getting ready because I have a job interview later today, so I actually have to leave in like an hour. So, this is gonna be rushed, I feel, but I felt that I couldn't wait till later to make this video. One reason being because my daughter is gonna be home, and I love her, but as soon as I sit down and start doing anything, she likes to be involved, and that's fine. Like, I love spending time with her. I don't want to go to this job interview. I want to stay at home with her forever. And just like continuously pop out children because that's my dream in life, is to be a mother of like 5, and it's always been my dream. But when I first became a stay-at-home mom, we could afford that kind of life. And my husband now makes more money than he did when I was first a stay-at-home mom. And we can't afford it anymore, even though he makes more money. So that gives you an idea of where the economy is. But this is my audition tape to be an influencer. And I don't mean influencer like buy my product type stuff. The reason that I started this channel, number one, was to help people. And I feel that like with my experience in life, that's never gonna go away. I'm never gonna become out of touch, I feel. If somebody were to DM me asking me for help, I would likely help them. That being said, I also probably wouldn't be in my DMs, but my idea, because I started this channel as like a PCOS awareness situation, I want to like start a foundation for PCOS to get people like free healthcare and like get people all the things that they need to be successful with something as stupid as PCOS. And it is stupid, and I have it, and I've had it forever, and it is very detrimental to my daily life. And I just, don't want other people to go through that. I started this channel so that people like me, back when I first was getting a diagnosis where I knew that I had it, but I couldn't get doctors to listen to me and all of that. I just want to help people. That's my goal in life. I want to educate. I've always said that if I find the magic cure for PCOS, I would never charge money for it. And that's why I'm here, because YouTube is free. It's free to watch. Would I be selling you things as an influencer? Well, unfortunately, that is like how influencers make money, but I wouldn't sell you anything that I hadn't personally tried for longer than like a day. You know what I mean? So if I'm selling you a makeup product, I'm promoting a makeup product, it's going to be something that I've used. A supplement, it's going to be something that I've used. I'm not going to, I don't want to like throw names out there, but I'm not going to act like certain influencers who do 10 different skincare brands within a week time span and, act like they love every single one of them just to get a paycheck, okay? And also I have ideas. I have ideas for my own business that I would like to start, and I would probably make most of my money from that. And I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want you to steal my idea, but I think that if I had this thing that I have invented in my brain and nowhere else, my life would be a lot easier. So, and it's PCOS related, okay? Or PMOS now. I don't know if you heard. The name changed. Number 2, I can also be a messy bitch. I know we live for drama on the internet. I'm definitely one of them. Especially now, I feel like, because I'm trying to like want to live in this day and age, and it's very difficult considering the like political climate that we're in and all of that. It's hard to like want to stay like in touch with the news, but I love staying in touch with the drama. I love Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I love YouTube drama. I was there for Dramageddons 1 and 2, okay? Actually, I'm using this. I purchased it when it was like a new product, okay? All of my Jeffree Star makeup is old and will never be repurchased. I'll tell you that. But I was a huge fan, and I was let down tremendously, and I even tried to stick around after Dramageddon, and then the whole thing came out about the, like, there's no such thing as they-thems. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. And I was like, okay, well, now I can't support you anymore. But the last time that I purchased anything from him was years ago. Probably, 6 or 7 years ago? I don't know. How long ago was Dramageddon? I can't remember, but I haven't bought anything from him in a long time. I do still use the makeup because I did spend hard-earned money on it. But, never will it be repurchased, which is sad. I need dupes for all the lipsticks. Leave your suggestions in the comments below. All of that being said, sorry, went off on a random tangent, as I do. I have integrity, I have morals. I'm not going to be purchasing from brands that suck. I'm not going to be promoting people that suck. But I do live for the drama, and I'll give you my opinion on it. And also, I have quite a bit of family drama. Like, I could tell you about how my cousin stole hundreds of dollars and an engagement ring from me. I can tell you about why I moved out at the age of 16 because my parents sucked. I can tell you how I tried to get my labor and delivery nurse fired from the hospital. It was unsuccessful. All of this being said, yes, I'm impulsive, but I'm not going to attack people who are asking me for help. My thing, like, the reason I started this channel, it took me years to do it. First of all, I was super overweight and I just didn't want to be on the internet as a, like, incredibly overweight person. Not saying that you can't if you're overweight or whatever. I just didn't feel like I would be ready to be called fat on the internet because I got it enough, like, in my daily life, and it affected me a lot. So now that I have lost weight, I can, like, put myself out there. But also, I was like, there's no way I'm ever gonna make it. There's no way that, like, anyone's ever gonna watch these. And, like, so far, that's to be the case, but also, I'm not very consistent in my uploads. I get ideas, I film them, and then I delete them because I'm embarrassed. This one's going up no matter what because I'm mad. I'm mad that someone like James Charles can have a platform. And, like, I'm not mad at him for rejecting that girl in the DMs or whatever, or I'm mad at him for publicly shaming her, but I'm also mad that he got away with talking to underage people. That's something you'll never see me do. I work with children. I've worked with children basically my entire life, except for when I was a CNA there for a little bit. I was a nanny. I worked in, well, that's about it. I was a nanny. I worked in a group home for boys with developmental delays. That was an awesome job. I left that because my boss, honestly. Shout out, bitch. People like James Charles and other influencers who I don't like, who I've had blocked on TikTok for a long time because I'm not the type of person to hate watch. But if they can do it, why can't I? Why can't someone who actually would give back? You know? Why can't someone, like, and I'm sure there's a bajillion people out there who would give back and who would be, like, thankful, because where would you be if you didn't have your fans? Where would you be? I am of the belief, and I know, like, Tana Mojo said this the other day on TikTok, she is also of this belief, and she is an influencer, so I feel like not every influencer feels like they don't owe anybody anything. I'm of the belief that I would owe you. I would owe you because where the fuck would I be? I would be right back here in my tiny ass house with $15 in my bank account, about to go put all 15 in my car because that's all I have for the next 2 fucking weeks. I would be struggling, you know? And I'm like, obviously, like, this is me, like, fantasizing about if I did have that kind of money. I wouldn't be sitting there shitting on people who need help, especially after being laid off unexpectedly. Like, I'm pretty sure no one knew that Spirit Airlines was gonna close, right? Like, no one knew that. So I'm sure the employees didn't. I actually worked for Payless Shoe Source. I was a key holder, yet not manager. Like, I basically did manager things except for ordering stock, basically. And I don't even know if the manager did that. I think corporate did that. But I was there when they closed, and we didn't know until like 2 weeks before they closed, and we had to shut down that entire store. I actually quit right before because I had gotten offered another job, but they had to shut down the store, sell everything, like including the mirrors and the posters and like the little benches you sit on when you're trying on shoes. I've been there, 2 weeks notice. I got lucky that I had already been looking for other jobs because that workplace was pretty toxic. But everyone else that worked there got like a little bit of a severance package, which wasn't much because like we weren't working full time. None of us were full-time employees, and except for the manager. And I've been there, and at the time the job market was better, at least in my town. This was, you know, probably 10 years ago. When did Payless close? Whatever year that was, that's when I left. And the economy was better. And I'm getting a phone call, but I'm gonna call them back. That all being said, I became a stay-at-home mom in 2020 when I had my daughter. We were able to afford things. We weren't rich by any means, but we had all our bills paid and we had money left over. We bought a car shortly after she was born. And now there's no way in hell I could buy a car. And now, like, all my bills are paid except for like 2 of them that are gonna be late. We have groceries in the house because I chose not to pay those 2 bills last month. So things are getting bad. Things are getting bad. And like I said, my husband makes more money now than he did in 2020 when I became a stay-at-home mom. So I have been there. I understand how hard everyone has to struggle, and I like wouldn't ever hold that against anybody, and I wouldn't tell you to put in 100 job applications and just get a job, because I've put in 100 job applications. So has my husband. We're both looking, and this job interview that I have today is because someone reached out to me. Someone recommended me for childcare, and someone reached out to me, and it's super part-time. So I would be a stay-at-home mom still if I could. Also, another point I would like to make is I don't think I would ever amass the amount of wealth that James Charles has, Jimmy Chuck, if you will, because I would be giving it all away. I would be giving it to friends, I would be donating to GoFundMes, I would be donating to charities. I don't think I could personally amass that amount of wealth. You're just like hoarding it like that. I feel like I wouldn't be living in a mansion. I want my dream house, which would be enough rooms for all of my kids. I want them all to have their own room. Should they choose to share, fine. I would like to have my own office space and like a big ass kitchen and maybe a garage. I also want a pool. I feel like a pool would be like, I made it. You know what I mean? If I had a pool, I know I made it, because that's rich people shit. But that's all I want. I don't want to live in a mansion. I don't want to go on brand trips. I don't want to leave my house, basically. That's why I'm here telling you why I should be an influencer, because I don't want to leave my house. Meet and greets, probably never going to happen with me. I have social anxiety and I have something wrong with my immune system, and if you get me sick, I will sue you. I do make jokes with friends about, God, wouldn't it be so nice to be so out of touch? Wouldn't it be so nice to just not give a shit about anybody? Wouldn't it be so nice to just sit on so many millions of dollars that you don't care about anything? Wouldn't that be just like the dream? That being said, I don't think I ever physically could become out of touch. I don't think physically, mentally, whatever. I don't think that I could, because like I said, I've been there. I understand what you're going through, and I would want to help. I'm a big people pleaser. You can ask anybody who knows me, I'm a big people pleaser. I am getting better with it, because who am I pleasing, really? Especially not me. I'm one of those people that will go all out. So let's say I do get super freaking famous, and like, not famous, really. I'm not really here for the fame. But let's say I do get a following, become well known, all of those things. What would I do with the wealth? Well, I already told you what my house would look like. I would buy a new car, probably a 2026 Subaru, because every Subaru that I've had has been old, like 1990s type old, and there's nothing wrong with them. I got rid of my Subaru when I had my daughter because the AC didn't work, but everything else ran fine, and that car is still chugging along until I gave it to my brother and he destroyed it. But I'd buy a new car. Would I buy a Lamborghini? No. Would I buy something crazy expensive? No. I want like a reasonable car that's safe and that's not gonna break down. Speaking as someone who had to recently drop over $1,000 on her piece of shit car that she bought in 2020 when cars were also cheaper. And if I could sue the dealership for giving me this car, I would, but it's too late now. I would probably go to Disneyland, like, pretty often. My daughter loves Disneyland. Do it for her. That's one thing I would do. I would go to Disneyland a lot. Like, that would be the selfish thing that I do. I would do vacations. I love a vacation. I want to travel. Right now, I don't even have a passport and I've never been on a plane because broke. When we talk about how expensive flights are and the fact that Spirit is gone now, like, I've never been on a plane, like I said, but Spirit was a cheap one, right? Like, I have to go on a plane soon. I have to get to my husband's family in another state. It's not really drivable with a 5-year-old, plus with the amount of PTO that he has. It's like $600 a person for a round trip, which is fucking insane, dude. Like, who can afford that? So that's one thing I would do, is visit family that lives in other states. I would go there more often. Yeah, so I really, like, honestly can't imagine what I would do with that amount of wealth, because, like, we know James Charles is rich as fuck. I would definitely, like, buy myself nice things. Like, I'm a Taurus at heart, and I like to have nice things. I like to have name brand shit. I wouldn't be buying no Louis Vuitton. I don't think, like, super designer things are worth it, because anything really designer that I've ever had has been the same exact quality as something cheaper that you can get at Walmart. Another reason I should become an influencer is so I can move. I live in a very small town. I don't want to necessarily not live in a small town. I don't like freeways. I don't like anywhere that has a freeway. However, this town that I live in is very, like, red, if you know what I mean. And I am not, and it feels like a threat being in this town. I was gonna say a fun fact about this town, but then I decided that would dox me, and it's a really small town, and who knows who's gonna watch this. Is a crash out, because James Charles is famous. There's other influencers who I even used to watch who are super famous and super out of touch. And I just don't know. I'm 28. Maybe if I was like 20 and I suddenly became super rich, I would become out of touch too. But I feel like I've struggled for so long that I am able to have empathy for others. And it's not even, like, for me, the James Charles thing, like, he should have been canceled long ago. He should have been canceled during the Bi Sister era. And I don't know, he lost like 3 million subscribers, right? During Bi Sister. He's talking to underage boys. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. And he's still checking his DMs. He's still checking them. Because how else would he know that someone DM'd him their GoFundMe link? My end goal in life is not to become a millionaire, but it's just to become comfortable and to help people. I don't want to have to struggle anymore. And like I said, I have immune problems, and that does make it harder for me to like work a 9 to 5 because right now I'm undiagnosed, whatever it is. I'm going through testing and stuff like that, so I can't get like disability or whatever. And I get sick so easily and for so long that like I'm calling out like on my 3rd day of work because I caught something from being at work. So that's part of the problem and part of why I became a stay-at-home mom, other than the fact that I just want to raise my kids and like, you know, not... Whoa, that was way too much highlighter. I just, you know, I want to be comfortable. I don't want to amass insane amounts of wealth. I want to help people. I don't know how GoFundMe actually works. Is it like Facebook where you go on and you scroll? Like, I would donate to so many, like every day. And I feel, you know, you lost your job, that fucking sucks. Here's some money. Like, oh, your dog died, you need money. Here you go. You need to go to the vet. Here's money. Vets are fucking crazy expensive. Wouldn't be the type of person that just ignores that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Or bashes people on the internet. And I'm just like, this is me sounding very narcissistic, by the way, and I'm aware of that, and I fear that there are worse on the internet, people who only care about themselves and all of that. I simply could never. I want to help people. I want to do something about PCOS. I want to donate to funds that give, you know, research grants. I want to literally become best friends with a scientist and like work together with a scientist about PCOS. I want like there to be a reason and a cure someday, or at least the pathway to a cure when I die, just because it's affected me so freaking greatly. But I also want to give back. I do believe influencers do owe you. They do. And all they actually do is sell you things. They're living off of your money. They're living off of you and like AdSense, which I don't know if TikTok, I'm not familiar if they do AdSense. I know there's like a creator fund, from what I hear, that doesn't actually pay very much. So it's all brands. It's just they're selling you shit, and the brands are giving them like hundreds of thousands of dollars to rip you off. Most of these products aren't even good. Like, this is a crash out. I really need to go get dressed though. I have to leave. Let's see, what time is it? 8:55. I have to leave in 30 minutes. So, and I missed a phone call while I was yapping. So I'm going to call that person back. But I'm so irritated that there are people out on the internet who are actual predators and don't care about you, even though you're the reason that they are where they are. And like, you've fallen on hard times and you're asking for help and you're so like out of touch with how the job market is that you double down, first of all, and only apologize after another influencer has come after you. He shouldn't be on the internet anymore anyway. This shouldn't be happening. Like, he should have been off the internet when all that shit came out, all the allegations that he admitted to. Come after me if you want. I know that James Charles has a lot of fans still, which is crazy. I could never. And I've had him blocked for a long time. And I only know about this because it's blown up and lots of people who I do follow are talking about it. But, yeah. I just feel like if you're gonna make anyone famous, like, why can't I? Or why can't, like, my brother... Well, never mind. Not my brother. He has no business being famous. But, like, you're gonna support people like James Charles, like Jaclyn Hill, like Michaela Noguera. Why the fuck can't I do it? So here I am. I'm launching my influencer career. And I give you, like, my promise that if I ever get anywhere, I'm not gonna end up out of touch like that. I would never. And if I have employees, they're gonna be overpaid. And if I have, you know, whatever, everything, I would, God, I just couldn't even get that much money. I couldn't even sit on that much money because I would be giving it all away. And like, the other day I bought a scratch card. It was for $1 million and I did not win. But by the time I finished scratching that card, I knew exactly who I was going to be giving most of it to. And the rest was going to get invested because $1 million isn't really that much money these days. But that was my plan. My first plan was to give it to people. And like, I just feel that there are people who are empathetic that should be famous. There are, and you know what? They're not on the internet because it's so difficult to like feel that much emotion and be on the internet where you're gonna get like people mad at you and people bullying you and whatever. That's why Jenna Marbles left. So yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to find good, decent people on the internet these days. And I feel like we need to start a new generation, start a new like YouTube culture of people who actually do give back. Because where would they be if they didn't have your money? Where would they be? Okay, I'm done with my crash out. I have to go get dressed, but bye.